I tell you where we'll all go. Load it on up, take it out to the woods where the fish are still biting and the eating still good. The garden keeps.
Hard to turn that off. Well, I'm out in the garage doing some chores. I'm building Mama T a greenhouse, and still snow on the ground, so we're making windows and doors and doing that kind of stuff. And anyway, I'm kind of an old cabinet maker, furniture maker kind of guy. That's more mortise and tenon and dovetails and half laps and all that kind of stuff. But I got to keep reminding myself I'm building a greenhouse and I got to get it done. So Mama T brought me this bad boy back today, the Pocket Hole Jig 720 Pro. So this is what my previous pocket hole experience is. The old clamp-on style. You adjust the thickness of your board by moving these things in and out, up and down basically, and clamp that onto the board and do your drilling, and it works, you know, for onesie twosies. But I got to build a fair amount of windows, so that might be a little challenging. So anyway, that's where I'm coming from. I'm not coming from the Kreg 4 and the Kreg 5 and all that. I'm jumping right from Mr. Primitive to high-end stuff. So we'll see what happens here. I'm just going to do a quick unboxing. I am going to be making some windows and doors for the greenhouse out of this. So if you want to watch that, I'll give you a link in the description below. And we are building a pretty cool greenhouse, so you might like that. I know this is a fishing channel, but I really don't want 2 YouTube channels. And I'm starting to do a little more woodworking, so I'm going to put some of that on there too. Anyway, Pocket Hole Jig 720. Got some generic instructions on the outside. Let's see what we got. Nice stinking boxes. Alright. Got some advertising. Looks like owner's manual and instructions. The main unit itself. Looks like it's got some screws in there. Pretty cool. Pretty substantial for plastic. Dust collection attachment. Again, dust collection attachment. Probably the drill drivers, the adjustment collar for the drill. It's got a little wrench that comes through. The handle helps you space the collar, and the Allen wrench tightens the collar down. Then you got your little gizmo benches that go on the side. Alright, so I think that's it. Let's organize this stuff a little bit. Got that in there pretty good. So the principle of this one is put your board in and clamp it down, and it automatically sets its position. So, put my board in. It's got a nice little rubber mat on the back, I see. I think this adjusts how firm it clamps. Put that in, clamp her down, lock, and you're good to go. So that's pretty cool. So let's see all what it came with. Well, those are the ones I bought. So earlier today, oh no, this came with it. So we got 1¼ and 2½. I think the 2½'s good for 2x4s, and the 1¼ is good for 3/4 inch. So it's probably your two most common sizes. And as you can see, I had Mama T pick me up the same 2 size screws at the store today because I didn't know what came in the store. And again, I think these are about 22 bucks a box. That's a 500 count of the 1¼ which you're probably going to use more than anything. That's a 250 count of 2½. Again, these are good for 2x4s and 3/4 inch lumber. So should have a good fair amount of screws going. Little information on the nuts and bolts and their straight line rip gauge. Have a dust collection adapter, which I probably won't need because I'll be going on with the bigger size, but got a nice flexible rubber type composite. I'm pretty sure this plugs into there to give you your dust collection. So that's kind of cool. Oh, I guess I will need that then. So that goes together like that. Oops. That's kind of cool. And the little wingy thingies. I don't know what that is. So these are supposed to go in there somehow, like that. I'm assuming the hinges are in here because this one's got a few more goodies in it. This is a clamp for the Kreg that will clamp it down onto the bench, and because my bench is so beefy, that's not substantial enough, not enough depth, but I got about a 5.5 inch baseboard on here, so it doesn't surprise me. But that's intended to edge mount, edge clamp the unit down to the work surface that you're working on. What I'll probably do is mount this on a board and use my bench dogs to hold it down on the bench while I'm working on it. There's a clamp that came in it. These look like the hinges. Lock and lock feature of some sort. Not quite sure. Probably a hinge cover. Only one hinge, 2 hinges, okay. Not quite sure what those gizmos are. I'll have to read the instructions. But I'm pretty sure that these go on here. And then that goes on here. And they are kind of keyholes. It's where you put them in and slide them back to hold them in position. And I've heard that that's kind of a little bit of a pain in the butt. Yep. Okay. Get this stuff out of here. Hinge. That's why. Duh. Alright, so that's the main assembly, and I'm assuming you take your dust collection off to raise them, and then there's a little latch gizmo there for storage, so that's kind of cool. Alright, this is pretty much everything you got in the case. Again, you had 1.25" and 2.5" screws. Looks like you get 100 of the 1.25" and 60 of the 2.5". 3/4 inch 2x4s or 1.5" material. Dust collection attachment. I haven't tried that out yet. Clamp to clamp the unit to the bench. It goes into the slot down here and clamps on the bench, but as you can see, I got a big old beefy bench, and it's going to be, that's not going to work too well, but it would on most benches. You get your standard type config on the head, 3 different spots, 2 for narrow boards and 2 apart. If I was going to join this board, I'd probably put one a little closer out to the edge. The little pieces that I didn't know what they were are this little stop block. I wouldn't invest too much faith in that thing, but it gives you a quick reference, and your hole locations aren't that critical anyway. Did get 2 different drive bits. One, and please note that they are, those things must be magnetized. Yep, they are. That's kind of cool. They are square drive type bits. I don't know if that's focusing, but square drive type bits. Get a longie and a shorty. X-Acto knife didn't come. This is kind of cool. It's a little adjustment tool, so you can put that up to your wood. Let me get it on the sunny side. Get that up to your wood, and that is, oops, somewhere between 1/2 and 3/4. I didn't realize that. Or maybe it is 3/4. Okay, so the first line is 1/2. Yeah, the first line's 1/2, second line's 3/4. So that gauges your wood, and then again, it gauges your wood thickness. And it's kind of cool the way they got the setup. There's a circle in there. I don't know how well you can see it. That for, you can see the 1.5 there, 3/4 and 1/2. And trying to get it to focus. And that's how you set your depth of drill. Of course, drill goes in there like that. And that's about it. Screws, dust collection, bench clamp, wings, Allen wrench to set the collar and to gauge the thickness of your wood, 2 drivers. One thing I did note is these little gizmos right here, which are these little clampy things that are used to lock the unit in when you store it. Excuse me, I'm trying to do 3 things at once here. But anyway, those rotate into there. Make sure they're down, because I tried to raise the lid, didn't realize it was down, and it popped that off. Luckily it didn't break it, but so you do wind up having 2 nice little storage units for the bulk of your stuff, and you put your drill bits in here and some other gizmos or whatever. So that's it. Just want to do a quick unboxing. It's a relatively new tool. I just picked it up at, or Tamara just picked it up at Lowe's today, and they just got them in. They weren't even on the shelf yet. So new Kreg 720 Pro, and I'm going to be building some doors here pretty quick, and that video probably won't be out until a little later because I'm just going to post this one real quick. But if you got any questions, give me a call. I'm going to be trying it out a little later today, and I think I'll do one just test piece here so that you can get an idea what it looks like in action. But I'm going to actually put it to real work here a little later. So that's what we're looking at. Forgot to mention, you got this handy little storage in the back for your drill, your wrench, and your gauge, your short driver, and your long driver. And these are little latches. I was saying that shows them engaged. If you leave that open, try to open the lid, it pops them off. So be a little careful with that. But overall, that's what she looks like stored. A cool little unit. And I like it. Gonna make things handy. Peace out. All right, we're going to try our second pocket hole. I did one already just to make sure I'm not a total fail on camera. But simple. Again, no adjustment needed here. Only thing I had to do was set this collar. Put the board in the clamp mechanism. It's got the rubber pad, anti-skid pad on the back. This one happens to be about the same size as a 1x4, so it's pretty easy to center up. And it does have hash marks on here to where if you have scribe marks on your board, you can line them up with that. So clamp the board in there. I did try using an impact driver to drive the screws the first time. I think that you stand too much of a chance of overdriving. So I got the drill clutch. I'm going to have the drill clutch set on about 8 just so I don't overdrive the screw. And this is pretty cheap pine. It's basically pallet wood from work. But basically put the drill in. Pocket screws are drilled. Pretty clean around the edges. You do want to kind of be holding the two joints together. And let's try driving them in. Again, I'm going to set the clutch down to about 8 on this. This is an inexpensive drill. Got it with the gift certificate. She's done. What did that take? All of about 2 minutes. I wouldn't put that up against one of my mortise and tenon joints, but it's quick and easy. That's for dang sure. Pretty strong joint, so I think it'd be good for face frames. Yeah, we'll find a lot of good uses for it. So all in all, give this tool a good. I think it's worth it's about 149 bucks. The Kreg Pocket Hole Jig 720 Pro. They make another one that doesn't have the wings. I think it's kind of a hand clamp on the front, but all in all, I think it's going to like it. It's going to be a good addition to the shop. So if you want to see us use it, we'll be building a greenhouse here a little later, building doors and windows. So hopefully we'll be putting it to good trials there. It'll probably be a while before those videos are out though, because I haven't even done them yet. So I'm going to put this one out quick. This was at Lowe's today. Just came from the back room. Mama T actually had to have them go get it. They said it was in, but she got there, it wasn't on the shelf. They had to go back and get it. So I think this is the first one that from the Lowe's in Branson, Missouri anyway. So they should be showing up on the shelves here pretty quick, and I'd say it's a go. It's a long way from the little gizmo I started with, so we'll see. All right, peace out. Love you.